We will start down here tonight. So I have grabbed a stability ball. You could use one of these if you have one of these. It's not weighted, it's not like a medicine ball. Alternatively, probably like a small throw pillow would do, or a yoga block, or you can do, as always, you don't actually need any of these things. They will just assist, because we're going to start with some Pilates, and I'm going to show you how you can use something like this with the Pilates. So, with that being said, come on down to your back. Go ahead and release yourself down and just take a moment, as always, to do whatever you need to do. If you want to stretch, that could feel good. You can yawn, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. You can hug yourself into a little ball. Just do whatever you have to do to kind of settle yourself. And then once you've shaken out all those kinks, come to a resting position. I like having my knees bent, but you could have your legs long. It doesn't matter. I just want you to be comfortable for a moment to focus on your breathing. So you can open your eyes or you can close your eyes, whatever comfortable. And just take a moment to relax and release into the mat. Begin inhaling through your nose and slowly exhaling. So we will be starting with Pilates tonight, so I'll be instructing you with a Pilates breath, which is going to be through the mouth. But for right now, just take some inhales through the nose and exhales through the nose. Just letting go of any stress, any tension, letting go of the day. Turning your attention to your practice. Noting any areas in your body where you might be holding tension, and you can see if you can exhale and let them go, and also pay attention to them as we're working through the practice. Maybe holding stretches for a moment longer, doing what you need to do to work into those areas. And then if they're not already there, go ahead and bend your knees. Place your feet parallel, about hips distance apart, thighs parallel, shins parallel. So it's like a series of numbers 11. And you're engaging your glutes so that your knees aren't falling in nor falling out. You've got to be just slightly engaged just to keep yourself there. Pull that belly button in and find a neutral position for your spine. So you'll notice if you tilt your pelvis downwards, you're going to have a big, huge gap. We don't want that under our back. If you tilt too far up, you start to lift your hips and your glutes off the mat, and we don't want that. So place your hips on the mat, but then pull that belly button in and just rock your pelvis until you can find a point where your low back is making contact with the mat. So that's going to always protect your back when we do the Pilates work. Sometimes they'll have a little bit of an arch, but it's really best to think about imprinting your spine there. Pull the belly button in and pull the ribs in so you're not kind of sticking out through there. Shoulders down and back into the mat, palms on the mat. And we're just going to begin with some focusing on our spine, some spinal manipulation with our bridges. And you can begin now if you want, exhaling through your lips, like for Pilates. Again, as always, if you prefer to just keep it through your nose, that's fine. But when you exhale through your mouth, you can do it a bit more forcefully, and you actually tone the muscles that are under the superficial muscles, the transversus abdominis and the multifidi. So you actually work on building a strong core from within, and the breath work is what will do that. So as you inhale, begin to tilt the pelvis, lift the hips, lift the abdomen, peeling your back off one vertebra at a time until you come to your shoulders. And then as you blow out, you begin to lower down, letting one vertebra come down at a time, pulling that belly button in until you come all the way down. Seeing if you can make the breath last the whole movement. Inhaling through the nose, lifting all the way up to shoulders. Exhaling through the lips, coming all the way back down to the mat. If you want, you can add the arms. The arms lift up overhead and stretch. And then exhale, they press back down. Again, just working at your own pace. You don't need to be moving the same pace as me. You could be going slower or faster. Inhaling on the up. Maybe holding that there for a moment and then blowing out through your lips on the way down. Last time, leave the arms where they are. Whenever you get there, don't stop your motion and just go ahead and lift yourself up to shoulder blades. Bring your arms down by your mat. Press the palms into the mat. Lift the hips up really high. Try to keep the knees parallel. They love to open up here, at least for me. Push up, up, up as much as you can. Take a couple of really deep breaths there. Expanding the ribs. Come up onto the balls of your feet and push up a little bit higher if you can. And rock up and down, up to the balls of your feet and back down to your heels, lifting up and back down. Everything else stays nice and lifted. Just rocking up and down, working out those feet, getting a little bit of calf work here. And lower the heels. And then lower the whole body down onto the mat. And draw your knees into your chest and give yourself a little hug and a little rock from side to side. Taking a breath. And we're going to work through some spinal twist here. So we're going to bring the knees. This is one opportunity. You could use the ball if you want, but you definitely do not have to have it. Bring your knees right over your hips so your legs are in tabletop, and if you want, squeezing something without any weight, so ball, pillow, block between your knees. Get your arms out of the way. They can extend or they can just come to cactus. And drop the knees down to one side as you exhale. Inhale, lift them up through center, over to the other side. I need more space. Over to the other side. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to drop down. Nice and slow and controlled. Notice if you're straining through your back to lift your knees up. If you are, bring your knees closer to your body. That will make it a little bit easier. If it feels really easy, you can push your knees out a little ways from your body, and that's going to work your core more. But I don't want you straining your back. We're stretching our back, but we're using our core to lift up and down. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Your head can just stay in the center, or if you want, it can go to the opposite side as you drop down, and to the opposite side as you drop down. One more time, each direction. Finish on the opposite side from where you started. And work yourself back to center. All right, so we're going to come to the hundreds. So we're going to start with a full Pilates warm-up here. I am migrating. I need to staple my mat to the floor. I don't know why it moves. Okay, so options for hundreds. You can have your feet down here on the mat. I'm going to keep the ball. You don't have to use it. You can bring your legs up to tabletop, or full version is going to be to extend your leg, and if you're using something, you're going to put it between the ankles. It's a little bit easier if you lift your legs straight up from hips. It gets harder and harder as you go down. Remember, the key is we never arch our back. Press that back into the mat. Wherever your arms are, extend your arms straight up from your shoulder, wherever your legs are, extend your arms straight up. Inhale. Exhale, lift the head and chest, arms shoot down, pick your leg position, and begin to pump your arms as you inhale for a 5 count and exhale for a 5 count. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hi, Amy and Tara. Inhale, exhale. We're starting with Pilates tonight. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. So you're pumping your arms with some vigor, and the idea is that as you're moving your arms, your whole body would kind of want to move around all over the place, but you use your core to keep it stable. Inhaling and exhaling. At any point, if your back starts to arch, pull that belly button in or adjust your legs. I'm doing the hardest level. You can lift your legs up from your hips. You can have your legs at tabletop, or you can have your feet on the floor. It's best to keep going, just modify. It's called the hundreds because you do 100 pumps, except in my class, it's probably more like 150. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. When you next finish your 5 pumps and exhale, release down and hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a little rock. For those of you just joining, I was saying that you can use an optional lightweight ball tonight, or a couch cushion, like a throw pillow, or a block, or nothing. I'll show you. I mean, you don't have to. It just adds to it if you want. Okay, you don't need that for the next thing. We'll be doing the leg stretch series. As always, I'm going to offer this as one continuous series. At any point, if you need a break, if your neck is hurting, just go ahead and relax down. Starting with single leg stretch. Right hand on the right ankle, left hand below the right knee. Extending the left leg up, lowering it down as much as you want, keeping that back pressed into the mat. Lifting up, elbows are wide, chin to chest. Inhale, hug that right leg in. Exhale, switch. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, left. And remember, you're trying to keep the core stable, keep the hips from moving around. Nice and controlled. Inhale and exhale. And 3, 2, last one. Finish left, hug both knees in. Take an inhale. And bending your knees. Try to keep those legs straight. You're really working your hamstrings here. Not working them, but building the flexibility. You're working your core. And 3, and 2. Last one, bring both legs in, hands behind the head, flex the feet. Inhale to press down, point the toes, exhale to pull up. Inhale, press down, point the toes, pull up. Inhale for 3, point, and up. Flex, pushing away, stretching the hamstrings, and pull up. Last time, pressing down, point the toes, and pull up. And release that down. Inhale and exhale, let it go. Bringing the legs to tabletop for crisscross. They're parallel. Lifting the head and shoulders, elbows stay wide. You're trying to bring your knee all the way to the opposite shoulder, and you're trying to touch your back elbow all the way to the mat. Don't worry about touching your front elbow to the knee. All that will do is make you tug on your neck. Hi, Joelle. Inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale, pause at center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale. Always use the inhale to twist to center. That's where you're engaging your core the most. You use the exhale to twist around. That's working the obliques. You want to purge your lungs so you can twist further. Inhale. Last round, make sure you finish on the opposite side from where you started. And release down. Press the palms of the mat, press the feet into the mat, tilt up to that same shoulder bridge we did earlier. So we're going to be doing a lot of back flexibility stuff tonight, potentially ending in wheel for those of you who do wheel. So we're going to really be trying to open up the back. So this will be a starting and a potentially ending pose for you, but it might get higher depending on your back flexibility. Okay, rocking yourself up, coming on over onto your hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. So because I want to be focusing on the back, I want you to do some really focused cow-cat. So your cow-cat always starts here at the very, very, very base of your spine. As you inhale, you start from there. You press the pelvis and hips down. Snake your way through your spine till you get to your chest. You're looking forward, pulling the shoulders back, the gaze goes forward. As you exhale, the pelvis pulls under. You move through your spine as you arch your back up, your head drops down, and you look to your belly button. Inhaling to arch, opening the chest. Exhaling to round, pulling into cat. So as always, working with your own pace of your own breath. If you want to continue exhaling through the mouth, like with Pilates, that's fine. If you're more comfortable exhaling through your nose, that's of course fine too. Just make sure you're breathing. It's really active when you're in cow. It's not about dropping into your hips. It's more thinking about opening your chest, actually sort of pressing down with your hips, pulling the shoulders back. So you really have an active curve going on in your spine, but you're engaging your core so you're not straining it. And last time, pressing up, arching into cat whenever you get there. Hold for a couple of breaths. Pushing into the palms, pulling the belly button up. Press into the backs of your feet, or the tops of your feet, I guess I should say, and lift your knees off the mat and just hover. Breathing in, breathing out. And releasing that down, curl your toes under, push up and back, downward facing dog. Focusing on that for a moment, pressing heels into the mat, pressing palms into the mat, and as always, rolling shoulders out away from the ears. Resist the urge to collapse down and in. Inhale, coming out to your plank, hands under shoulders, belly button in. As always, you can modify the knees if you need to. Holding here, inhaling, exhaling. This too, when you exhale through your lips, it really engages your core and it actually makes it easier. So if you're struggling in plank ever, use the Pilates breath through your lips and you'll find it actually makes your plank stronger. Lower all the way down onto the mat. So our first back extension will come to Sphinx because it's supported. So as you inhale, slide your hands outwards, pressing up onto your forearms. So even though this is a somewhat more relaxed position, you're still active. So you're contracting your gluteal muscles. You're actively thinking about extending the spine like someone's drawing you up by the crown of your head. Hips are pressing into the mat, shoulders are pulling down and back. Chest is open. Taking a few breaths. This should actually feel really nice on your abs because we kind of just did a lot of work and this is a really nice stretch for them. Inhaling and exhaling. Releasing that down, slide your hands back, curl your toes under, push yourself up through plank, and then back to downward facing dog. Inhaling, exhaling. Extend the right leg up, swing it forward, plant it down, coming to your runner's lunge, and then release that back knee onto the mat. Hands come behind the front knee, pressing forward. So again, back extension. Think about someone lifting you by the crown of your head, shoulders pull down and back. Gaze is just slightly up. You're not thrusting your head all the way back here. And you're still lifting rather than dropping into your hips. Inhale, exhale. And releasing that, press your hands to the mat, curl the toes under, coming up to a runner's lunge. Right knee over right ankle, pressing back through the left heel. Twisting into this, looking to the right, extending the right arm, opening that right arm up overhead, bringing your gaze to look at it. And replacing that hand back down. Swing the right foot all the way back into a three-legged downward facing dog. One move. Good. Option here to bend the knee, drop the right foot towards the opposite side, stacking right hip over left. You may stay there or you may flip down into your wild thing. Right leg stays bent, left leg is straight. Push the hips up, reach the right arm overhead. Breathe here. Again, opening up the chest, the abs, the hips, hip flexor. And flip yourself back over, three-legged downward facing dog. Challenge move to keep that right leg lifted as you come into plank. Right leg is lifted. Holding. At any point you can put that foot down, at any point you can modify. Do not wait for me to tell you. I'd rather you do something than just collapse, right? So pick how you can modify. Okay, option to keep that right leg lifted as we lower down, hovering in our chaturanga, and then releasing both feet onto the mat and coming all the way down. Hands right under shoulders, pressing up into our cobra or baby cobra. Elbows by the side, shoulders down and back. And release down. Use the inhale to push up. And the exhale to release. Yours might not be as deep as mine, that's fine. Keep the hips in the mat. Maybe you're just right here. Maybe you're higher. But the elbows aren't out, the shoulders aren't up. It isn't this. Last time. And whenever you next release down, curl those toes under, push yourself up through plank, and then back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg swings up, swings forward, plants down, runner's lunge, release that back knee onto the mat, hands up behind the front knee, driving forward, opening the hip flexor. Chest is lifting. A couple of deep breaths here. I have a confession. I baked carrot cake earlier, and a lot of it stuck in what I made a lot of carrot cake. Bringing it to work tomorrow. Anyway, in some of the pans, a lot of it stuck, and so obviously I had to eat it. I ate more crumbs of carrot cake than I probably should have before doing a practice. Oh well. All right, release the hands into the mat. Come up into your runner's lunge, pushing away with that right heel, twisting to the left, extending the left arm. Deep inhale and exhale. And then bringing that hand all the way to the mat, we're going to kick up to the three-legged downward facing dog again. Left leg is lifted. Bending that left knee, dropping it towards the left, stacking the hips. Again, option to stay there or option to drop down into your wild thing, flipping your dog. Right leg is straight, left leg is bent, left arm reaches overhead, pushing the hips up. And flipping yourself back over, three-legged down dog, coming into your three-legged plank. Optional, holding here. Make sure your hips aren't dropping. This is not a moment to extend. Oh shoot, I hope you guys still see me. It says connection unstable. No, I think we're back, okay. And lowering all the way to the mat, hovering, 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 and releasing into the mat. This time, slide your hands a little further back, so they're right about at your top rib, kind of the bottom of your bra strap for anyone wearing a sports bra or regular bra. We're going to come to upward facing dog. So you press into your palms, you extend the spine, and then you lift the hips. Try not to lock the elbows. Mine love to lock. So we're still actively lifting from the crown of the head. We're not dropping into this, right? We're pushing the hips up and forward, chest is up and lifted, shoulders down and back. And then curl those toes under, pushing up, downward facing dog. Pressing heels into the mat, pressing palms into the mat. Inhale and exhale. Extend the right leg high overhead, swinging it forward, planting it down, coming to a high lunge. Back knee pushing away, hands at heart center. Chest is lifted. Extending those arms up overhead, pulling the shoulders down and away. You can come to a pretty deep lunge here. It's your option. You never want to come out over toes, but our hips are forward and our foot is lifted, so you can bring this pretty deep if you want. Bringing the hands behind the back, clasp the hands together, pulling the hands down, opening the chest, lifting the gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale, exhale. Good, bringing those arms back up overhead, twisting to the right, right arm shoots back, left arm shoots forward, but our chest is still lifted. Exalted warrior, right arm drops it down, left arm lifts up. Breathing into the left side body. And then cartwheel those hands down to the mat, step the right foot back, plank position. Everyone still with me? Someone else has joined, but I cannot see who.
We're still here.
Excellent. All right, option to come all the way down to the mat and up to cobra, or option to come to hover, chaturanga, and up to your up dog. You decide what's better for you, for your back, for your body. Lowering down on the inhale, and then up to your cobra or up dog, and then back, down dog. Left leg swings up, swings forward, plants. High lunge, hands at heart center to start. Finding that lunge position. Knee over ankle, deep bend without tracking out over the toes, lifting up. Once you're situated, bring those arms up overhead, opening the chest towards the ceiling. And then bring those hands behind the back, clasping them together, opening up, pulling the shoulders back, again thinking of spinal extension. Deep inhale, long exhale. And release down. I think someone's not on mute, but I can't see who it is from here. It's not Tara, it's not Cindy, it's not Kristen. I can't see who. Step your foot back, coming to plank. Same option, lowering all the way down, or just to chaturanga, and then up to your cobra or your up dog. And exhale, pressing back, coming to down dog. Inhale, exhale. Good, walking your hands forward, hanging over, letting your head go, shaking your head yes, nodding it yes, I guess it should say, shaking it no. Bend the knees, drop the hips, roll yourself all the way up. Inhale, extend those arms up overhead, and exhale. Oh, I forgot something on that side. We'll come to it in a moment. Hold. Okay. And extend up on the inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release. Option to power jump back to plank, or right foot followed by left, coming to your plank. Lowering down, obviously, not obviously, all the way to the floor, or not. And pressing all the way back. I was going to say another word, but obviously came out. English really is my first language. Breathing in, breathing out. Extend the right leg overhead, swing it forward, plant down, rising up to your warrior one this time. So your back foot pivots and plants. Your hips stay forward. For me, it means less of a deep bend in my front knee. Extending those arms up overhead if you want. Opening this up, warrior two. So we're staying tall and lifted through the center, gazing out over our front hand, making sure the right knee is not tracking out over toe. Reversing your warrior, left hand behind the back, right hand flips up. Opens towards the ceiling. Breathing the right side body. We will do exalted warrior on the other side when we get to it. And coming back up. Pivoting towards the top of the mat. We're going to do our balance pose on this side. So we're going to launch onto our front foot, the right foot, and just bring the left knee to the chest to start. Or it doesn't have to come to the chest, just up. All right, we're going to do dancer. So the right hand grabs hold of that ankle, or the left hand rather grabs hold of that ankle, and your knees come parallel to one another. Stretching your quadricep here. Raise the right arm up, and then lift that left leg away from the body, kicking your foot into your hand into your foot. Without bending forward, a little bit of a bend forward happens, but it's not an active bend. Gaze is still forward. It's like you're trying to grab your left toe with your right hand. I know none of us are going to do that, but that is the impulse. That's what you're going towards. Focus on a point in front of you. And come back to standing and place the foot down, hands at heart center. Other side. Inhale, extend the arms up.
Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back lift. Exhale, release, hands find the mat. Stepping left foot followed by right or hopping 2 feet back to plank. Exhale, lowering down all the way or hovering. Inhale to your cobra or your up dog. Exhale, pressing back, down dog. Extend the left leg up, swing it forward, plant it down. Press up here to your high lunge, so we can do what we didn't do on the other side. Extending the arms and twisting to the left. I don't know how I could forget this, it's like my favorite posture. The left arm drop down, right palm comes up, exalted warrior on this side. It's such a lovely posture. Breathe into the right side body. Good. Now come back up. Transition this to warrior one. So the right foot is going to pivot and plant, but the hips stay forward. So if your left knee comes a little bit unbent, that's okay. Extend the arms up. Pick a point to focus on and then open up without losing sight of that point to your Virabhadrasana 2. Both hips are open, so the right hip is rolling back, the left thigh is opening, keeping knee over ankle, shoulders are pulling towards one another. Reversing this, right hand behind the back, left palm flips up, opening that up, reverse warrior. And pressing back up, warrior 2, pivoting to the front of the mat, facing forward, launching onto that left foot, right knee comes up, grabbing the right ankle or right foot, left arm extends, find your balance. You can also hold on to something with that left hand if you're less stable. Kick that right foot up and behind. Awesome for the quads, awesome for the balance. And of course, also opening up our back. Inhale, exhale. Can you kick a little bit more into that hand? And coming back to vertical and releasing that foot, releasing the hand. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, hopping or stepping right foot followed by left, coming to plank. We're going to do our 5 push-ups. So I'm going to separate my hands a little bit wider than the mat, turning the fingers ever so slightly in, and we just come down without bending more than 90 degrees of our elbow, and you can bend less if you want. Inhale, lower down. Exhale to press up. We're just doing 5. Inhale, exhale. Feel free to drop to knees here. Better to do it from knees with excellent form. And 2. Last one. Walk those hands back in towards one another. We're going to come to a side plank here. So right hand to the middle of the mat, coming over to your right hand, your right foot. You can have your right knee down on the mat, or you can leave it where it is. Option here to come to a very similar posture we just did, grabbing that foot or that ankle, stretching your quadricep again on this side. If this doesn't work for you, just leave your foot where it was. Good, replacing your foot, coming back over, separating the hands, 5 more push-ups. Inhale, exhale, press up, and 4, and 3, 2, last one. Bring those hands back to center, left hand in the middle of the mat, over to your opposite side, grabbing hold of your right foot or ankle, stretching your quad here, or again, modifying this as you need. And releasing that, coming back to center. This time we're going to come all the way down to the mat. Release. Bring the hands behind the body, clasp them together, squeeze your feet together. And inhale, lift the chest up, pull the shoulder blades together, pull the shoulders back. Breathing in, inhaling and exhaling. And release the mat down, hands under shoulders, push up and back, come to child's pose. Sit on your heels, release your head to the mat. Take a couple of breaths. Good, rising back up, coming to downward facing dog. Press into the palms, roll the shoulders away. Right leg extends up, coming to high lunge again on the right, pressing up, arms extend up. We're gonna dip, we're gonna bend the back knee, lowering down, and press back up. You can add the arms, you can pull down like you're doing lat pulls. You can have the arms just go flat. I don't have the space to do that. I have the wall next to me. You can just leave them up. You could also come at heart center. What's most important is that you're working the back leg down and up. The front knee never tracks over the toes. What I see a lot is forward. Almost fell over. When you go forward, you just hurt your knee and you don't do anything for the glute, which is what we're trying to do. Let's do 3 and 2. Last one. Just come to that high lunge. Arms up. Exhale, hands find the mat. Step the right foot back. Press straight back, downward facing dog. Heels into the mat. Left leg swings up, swings forward, plants, rising up. Pick your hand position, heart center, extend. Out to the side. And drop that back knee down. And squeeze back up. Bending down and squeeze. Good. You should always see your big toe in front of you. Focus on a point in front of you. And 3 and 2. Last one. Good. Extend those arms up. One more inhale and exhale. Hands find the mat. Step that foot back. Plank position. Come down to a forearm plank. Arms can be parallel, or you can press your palms together. So you're looking in between your arms, so your head is in neutral, not looking forward, not looking at your toes. Feet are pretty close together, and we're going to twist and dip. We dip the left hip to the mat and back to center, and right, and left. Twisting one side, and then the other. Inhale, and exhale. Keep going. Working the obliques again. One more time, each side, finishing on the opposite side from where you started. Come back to the center, and release all the way down. I'm sweating. I don't know about y'all. Whew. Hot. Okay. Options. You're going to do a wheel in preparation for bow. I said that wrong. We're going to do bow in preparation for wheel in a little bit. So bow is very similar to those quadricep stretches we were doing a moment ago, which is why we were doing them. So you bend both knees, like so. You reach arms back, like so. Squeeze the glutes, lift the chest and shoulders. Some of you will be miles away and you will not be able to reach your feet, and that is okay. You can just stay here. If you can catch your ankles or your feet, you may stay here. That might be enough. If you want to take this deeper, you kick into the hands, you lift the chest and shoulders, and you lift the knees off the mat. The tendency here is for the knees to flare open. See if you can keep them about hips distance. Take a few breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Keep lifting the knees, keep pressing the hands. Inhale, exhale. I'm breathing through my mouth because I want to right now. You can also breathe through your nose. And release that down. Press into your hands, push up and back, keeping your knees together and toes together. Sit back on your heels in child's pose. Inhale and exhale. Rise up, extend your arms out in front of you, curl your toes under, and sit back again in puppy pose. Stretching your heels towards your hips, release your head to the mat. So now your head may not reach to the mat, and your hips will not reach your heels. They're sitting back towards your heels. Your arms are forward. It's a really active stretch of your shoulders and of your back. Good. Rising up, curl the toes under, press up and back, down dog. Inhale, right leg swings up, swings forward, plants in your runner's lunge. Holding here for a moment. Push back through the heel. And then simply step your right foot back, coming to plank, dropping the right knee, pivoting down, coming over to a modified side plank on your right side. Knee is on the mat, and then pushing yourself up, preparing for gate. So we start nice and tall. Ball is not ideal for this, block would be better, but I'm gonna use the ball because it's here. That's gonna come on down, right arm is gonna lift up, and we're gonna bend over. What I don't want is you bearing down on your knee joint, right? So you can either put hand on hip, you can let the arm just go. If you have a block, the hand can rest in the block, on the ball. Turning and looking towards the ceiling. Just as always, we want to protect the joints. Good, cartwheel that over. Coming back to your plank, pushing back up, downward facing dog. Left leg swings forward, runner's lunge on the left. Push back through the heel. And then step back into your plank, drop the left knee onto the mat, rising up to your modified side plank on this side. And then pushing yourself up, finding vertical, and then coming on over to your gate pose here. So again, this hand can be free. It can go to the hip. You're actively reaching with that left arm, making sure that you're sideways, not twisted. It's a lateral bend, or the hand could come find something on the mat. Just not the knee. And cartwheel that back over. Press up to your plank. And then just bring those legs through, coming to a seated position. Okay, my mat is all sorts of wonky. It's so funny, in the other position in my house, I used to scoot towards you guys. Here I scoot away. Oddly, it's all the same cardinal direction. Maybe there's a slight downhill. Water asana. Okay. Come on down to your backs. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock. All right, we're gonna do another abdominal thing. Let's rock up to sit to start. So knees are bent, feet are on the floor, arms extend. Modification is going to be to grab the back of your thighs. I'm going to do that just to show, but otherwise the arms are extended. We're going to hinge backwards. So chest is lifted, back is long. What we are not doing is rounding and collapsing, because that's just not, it just doesn't look very good. No, it's not good for you, and you're not using your abs. We want to use our abs. But chin is still towards chest. We're not looking up towards the ceiling, because that's bad on our neck. Good. Okay. So the move is modified version, holding onto thighs or not holding onto thighs. You're going to roll down and you're going to roll back up to that same position. Okay, that's my modification. If you want to try something a bit more challenging, the legs come to tabletop. As you roll down, the legs extend, Ardha Navasana, half boat, and then back to tabletop. It's an inhale to come down and exhale to come up. And again, if this is too much, the feet are on the mat, it's just a roll down, and you can use your hands if you need to pull up, okay? This is not easy. Did we say this was easy? No, we did not. Inhale and exhale. And 3, and 2. Last one, come up and hold. Option to come into full boat, which is to extend the legs. And hold. Option to lift those arms up. And hold. If your legs are extended, option to flutter them slowly. And hold. Are you shaking? I'm shaking. And then place the feet down and give yourself a hug. Okay, so we're going to come back down onto our backs. We're going to come up into shoulder bridge again. If you have a block or something else that can lift you, you can come into a deeper shoulder bridge, which I will show you. And then I'm going to give you the option for wheel. Okay? So come on down. So first option is shoulder bridge. Everyone can do this the first time, and then you'll just see what you want to do the second time. So feet are fairly close to our body. We're going to lift our hips up. So your options here are to bring your hands under your body, clasp them together, and push those shoulders under you to lift the hips even higher. Depending on your back and your hips and your flexibility, you could bring your hands under you on your hips and press into a deeper bend. This might be too much for you. Maybe it's great. If you have a block, the ball actually isn't quite high enough for me, but maybe it is for you, but you could put it's going to squish too much. The block is better because it actually will keep you lifted, and you can put the block on either the lower, medium, or highest level. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, and release that down. Hug the knees into the chest, give yourself a little rock. Okay, so your option is to do that again. And I'm going to give you the option, you can stay where you are. I'm going to give you the option once you're up there to lift one leg up, and the option to lift the other leg up. Okay? Option 2 is to come to wheel. So I will show it, and then if you want to try it, you can. If you're just going to do shoulder bridge, go ahead and do your shoulder bridge. For wheel, hands come behind by the shoulders, press into hands, press into feet, pushing up into wheel. So you're either in wheel or you're in your shoulder bridge. And then in either of these, if you want, you can lift the right leg up, toe towards the ceiling, replace that, lift the left leg up, toe towards the ceiling. Everybody take a couple more breaths. Inhaling, exhaling. And wherever you are, with control, lower yourself down, hug your knees into your chest. Squeeze the right leg in, push the left leg away. Bring that right knee down as close to the floor as you can get it, and then again, this is a great place for a block, or the ball works here, or a pillow, because what you want is to bring your right shoulder to the mat. And sometimes if you bring your right knee all the way to the mat, you're too rolled over and your shoulder doesn't get there. So bring your shoulder to the mat, and then bring your right knee to whatever place it needs to be. You can even support it with your hand. And maybe that isn't the floor, okay? I'm gonna put the ball under there. You can cactus your arms, you can extend your arms long. You can take this left hand and pull gently over on your right hip. And then you can turn your head and look over the other direction. So this is a pretty deep low back spinal twist, but it's what we want to do when we do those deep back bends. We want to counter pose with a twist. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. And bring that back to center. Hug the left knee into the body, extend the right leg away. And again, keep the left shoulder in the mat, bring the left knee across, and then find the place where the left knee needs to land. Maybe it's your hand, maybe it's a block. And then turn the head, look over the left shoulder. If you want to take the right hand, put on the right hip. And bring yourself back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. One last time. And then you can either scoot yourself, if you have a wall nearby, bring yourself to the wall. If you have a block or ball, you can put your hips on that. Otherwise, you can just sit on your hands and bring your legs straight up in the air. I'm going to show you on the ball. It just looks like this. It's so much more comfortable if you can lift your hips up. You can put your hands under, you just have to work a little bit harder. Whereas if you can get yourself up on a ball, block, or pillow, it just means you don't have to work as hard. Like my abs are really soft right now. But the idea is that my legs are just nicely, gently inverted. Same thing up the wall. You don't have to work if they're up the wall. And if it's too much, if you haven't got a ball or on the wall, if you just need to like let your legs be more relaxed, make it comfortable. I want you inverted for a moment, but comfortable. I was gonna do a headstand, but I said we've had enough challenging postures. Didn't need to add a headstand in the mix. Maybe next week. Good. If you're on something or at the wall, go ahead and come on down. And come to happy baby, reaching in between the thighs, holding onto feet or ankles, giving yourself a little rock from side to side. See if you can keep your hips in the mat. It's kind of common to lift the butt off the mat. If you can press them down, it changes the stretch a little bit for the better. Good, and then release that all the way down. Stretch your arms up overhead, push your legs away, take an inhale. Open up the legs a bit. Bring your arms down by the side, palms up, shoulders down and back, chin towards chest. And allow yourself to relax in Savasana. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. If you're out of breath, this is a good moment to exhale through the lips. That's why I was doing that earlier. Blowing the breath out will help you steady your breath. Or opening your mouth and sighing it out. Either of those will help slow your heart rate, will help slow your breath. And then you can bring yourself into the gentle inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose of your relaxation. And remember, if your mind wanders, just exhale, blow the thought away, and bring your attention to your breath. Feel yourself grow heavy. Feel yourself just melt into the mat. begin to allow your breath to deepen. Watch your breath come in through your nose. Imagine you can see it go into your lungs. Feel your ribs, your chest, your abdomen expand. And imagine you can watch it as it goes back out. And next time you inhale, imagine you can see that oxygen traveling on your cells, every single part of your body, recharging you, refreshing you, re-energizing you. All the way down to your fingers and toes, reawakening those muscles. Begin to roll your wrists and your ankles, maybe moving your elbows and your knees and your head. Allowing your joints to come back to life. And then draw your knees towards your chest, rolling over onto one side. And push yourself up, finding yourself in a seated position, spine tall, relaxed. And once again, bring your attention to your breath. Deep inhale through the nose. Hold it. Exhale through the nose. And again, inhale and hold. Exhale. Continuing with that breath pattern for a moment. Next time you exhale, just release. Bring your palms to heart center. Take an inhale as you swoop your arms up, pressing your palms together. Exhale through the mouth as you bring your hands down to heart center. And again, inhale. Open your mouth and let it go. One more time, inhaling, and let it go. Rub your palms together, generating some heat between them. Place your palms over your eyes, cupping, feeling the warmth against your skin. Flutter your eyelids open.